You couldn't get more poetic than that, as far as I'm concerned. Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well and that you had a great week. To all of my house guests, come in, make yourselves at home, make yourselves comfortable. If you're passing by and you'd like to become a house guest, don't forget to hit subscribe and activate all of your notifications. I'm Chez, this is Chez M0i. Welcome to my place. Well, here's something that made me chuckle and shake my head at the same time. Did you know that the media is considered to be the fourth pillar of democracy that brings truth to the public? Did you also know that the 3rd of May was World Press Freedom Day to celebrate this principle? As we're already aware, after a 6-month absence and wild speculations, Kate reappeared last Saturday at Trooping the Colour. While one group of ordinary folk stood in the pouring rain to catch a glimpse of their idol, another group of ordinary folk were keen to voice their objections to the whole spectacle.
Not my king!
These are scenes that were not shown on mainstream media because everything was supposed to be shown as glossy and glamorous, with Kate being the star of the show. With that in mind, please could someone explain why Alison Pearson of The Telegraph thought it was a good idea to refer to actual cancer patients as lesser mortals in reference to Kate's reappearance? The inference being that Kate has been through so much, yet still managed to attend the event. This article is from thetelegraph.co.uk, published on the 15th of June 2024, authored by Alison Pearson. I'm not going to read the entire article, guys, because for me it's sickeningly sycophantic and she's just doing too much in this article. The headline reads, "Our Fair Lady, Princess of Wales's selfless display was the tonic that Britain needed. When lesser mortals would have stayed at home, Catherine proved that the show goes on." You get the gist. 2 words. Thank you. Thank you, Princess of Wales, for being an absolute trooper and attending Trooping the Colour on a cold, grey day when lesser mortals with your illness would have stayed home, tucked up in their gym jams. What a disgrace. How insulting. Thank Thank you for sacrificing the privacy that is so much needed to get you back to full health. Thank you for such a show of support for the King, who is not a well man, on his official birthday. And for giving a boost to the wider royal family, which has sorely lacked star power since you withdrew from public life in January to have major surgery. Okay, so she's basically saying that, the royal family need Kate. They need her. The irony. Thank you for channeling the gamine beauty of Audrey Hepburn in that wow of a white dress with a jaunty, outsized, stripy black and white bow. You are our fair lady. The only sunshine came from the golden glow of the brass instruments, the braid on the uniforms, and above all from Kate and the 3 children, smiling and waving in their glass coach. Can someone say Cinderella? Inevitably, all eyes were upon the princess after her statement on Friday that, although she still had good days and bad days and was not out of the woods yet, she would be making her first public appearance since revealing she had cancer. Many in the large crowd and millions of us watching at home will have felt emotional as we watched her alight from the carriage, acutely aware of all the things she is having to balance right now, the clarion call of duty, the grueling rounds of chemotherapy, and, above all, reassuring her darling children. Kate briefly patted her stomach, whether to smooth her dress after being seated on the journey from the palace, or a reflex to protect herself after recent surgery. It was hard to tell. Illness has definitely taken its toll. More slender and with heavier makeup than usual. Can you say backhanded compliment? The 42-year-old princess appeared brighter than she probably felt. How brave to face the gaze of the world when your body is in the business of betraying you. But it was wonderful just to have her there, as it was to see her youngest yawning at the height of the ceremony. Let's face it, no national occasion is complete without Prince Louis pulling a "how long is this going on" face. I just want to make a few observations. Let's start with the last bit I just read with regard to Prince Louis. Prince Louis is cute. I'm not going to deny that. He's a cute boy. But can we just acknowledge the fact that had this been Archie playing up, these people will pass Louis' behaviour off as laughable, cute, etc., etc. Trust me when I tell you, had it been Archie doing the exact same thing, they would have said how he misbehaved, how ill brought up he's been, all of these negative headlines. Trust me. I mean, you guys know, okay. So the fact that they just give him a pass. I mean, Harry used to behave like this. Harry was quite mischievous when he was younger, and we all know that. But you take that for kids. You don't really pay too much attention. And I have no objection to Louis being Louis. It does make it interesting when you see these boring events. For me, they're boring. But, the point is, had it been Archie, the headlines would have been completely different. Now, with regard to Kate's appearance, many people saying that she doesn't have cancer because she's got a full head of hair. I'm not a medical expert. I'm not in the medical field, but it's starting to make me question, because last week I did say that she looked good. She looks good, for what she has apparently been through. And, even if she didn't lose her hair or her hair didn't thin, because I don't know whether it's the case with everyone that is undergoing chemotherapy, but unless she's put loads of product in her hair, would her hair be that shiny? I'm going forensic now, because I'm just starting to wonder now what's really going on. From what I understand, she had the type of surgery where a significant portion of her intestine had to be removed. I don't know how true that is. So I can imagine why she wouldn't have wanted to be seen publicly. For me, she looks thinner than she normally does. Everyone knows she was thin before. She looks thin here, and it's not for me to talk about these things. I don't really like talking about women in that way, because it's not nice. I mean, they do it to Meghan all the time. There was one YouTube thumbnail that I'd seen where they actually talked about her torso and her chest area in a dress that she was wearing in Nigeria, and I thought, how awful. These misogynistic women, and then they talk about International Women's Day. What a joke. What an absolute joke. Anyway, going back to this, this comparison with Audrey Hepburn. I mean, okay, I don't even know what to say about that. What else was said? Yeah, this thing about lesser mortals. This is the real thing I wanted to go back to. Lesser mortals. Can you imagine? I mean, I don't know if you yourself or any of your family members or anyone you know is going through chemotherapy. I can't imagine, guys, and you have my sympathies. From what I've seen, people really suffer with this. And this is like comparing apples with oranges. And the reason I say this is because Kate has access to private healthcare. She does not have to go on an NHS waiting list. And before you think I'm against private healthcare, I'm not. I actually worked as a portfolio manager in an independent private medical insurance brokerage for over 10 years. So I know very well the advantage of having private medical insurance, especially with the state of our National Health Service in this country. I would advise anyone to, who is in poor health or, underlying conditions, etc., rather than going on the NHS waiting list, if you have the resources, by all means, get private medical health insurance. Okay, but what I'm saying is that there are millions in this country who do not have that privilege. They have to go on waiting lists for weeks, months, sometimes even years. And for this woman to refer to such people, other cancer patients, because she says that, they have the same illness as you, Kate, as lesser mortals. Let me tell you, okay, any backlash Alison Pearson has received, and I imagine that it's been quite a lot, I do not have any sympathy for her. I believe it's well deserved. Kate Middleton, I'm going to call her Kate Middleton, okay? Since everyone calls Meghan Markle, Kate Middleton, and don't say that they're not equal, because they're both royal wives. They both married into the royal family. As I said previously, if you don't deem Meghan a princess, Kate is not a princess either. Kate Middleton, okay? She is not a god. She is not a goddess. She is not a spiritual entity. She is not a cosmic deity. She is none of these things. The very fact that she's gone through these health challenges should set your mind straight once and for all that she is a human being. She is fallible. She is prone to suffer just like the rest of us. And just because she has a title in front of her name doesn't make her any less human. As I've said in earlier videos when I started talking about Harry and Meghan, stop deifying the royal family. The royal family, there will come a point when the royal family will be no more. But a lot of people can't handle that truth, because this is their belief system. This is what they can see. This is what they can touch. This is why they flock to the Mall, Buckingham Palace, all of these places when these state occasions take place, because this is their golden calf. If you know the Bible, you know what I'm talking about. This is their golden calf. Okay. The royal family is idolized. For what reason, I do not know, because they have failings just like the rest of us. They've got to go to the toilet just like you and me. They don't pass out gold bars. They don't wee champagne, you know, or any youthful elixir. I don't understand why people do this. I don't understand this. I don't understand. And I always said, when the Queen was alive, I always said, because I've seen her pass when I've been in London sometimes. Even when I used to work in West London, there was a time when her and Prince Philip passed through that part of London in their car with all the windows, and I passed by and I wasn't moved, guys. And I always said, if the Queen were to pass my area and I had the opportunity to meet her, I would not curtsy. I would not curtsy. You can be respectful without having to curtsy. Curtsying for me is a no-no. Bowing and scraping to people that perform the same bodily functions as me, they are no better than me. And the inference that this woman has given, basically saying that Kate is better than anyone else, is completely wrong. Kate is no better than any of us, especially those going through chemotherapy, actually suffering, actually incapacitated. They cannot get out of their beds. And that's why I say this article is sickeningly sycophantic and completely insulting. As I said, if this woman has received backlash, which I wouldn't be surprised if she has, it's deserved. It's well deserved, because she was out of order, completely out of order. While I maintain that Kate looked good last Saturday, I have to hold my hands up and admit that I was naive to think that the speculation regarding her health would subside. Online, I saw comments about how thin she was, how she had dark circles under her eyes. Some people went as far as to say that she doesn't have cancer because she still had a full head of hair, or that her prolonged absence was due to a facelift, citing a scar above her left eye to support their claims. One would have thought that all of these little subtopics would be enough to occupy the time of these useless hacks, but no. Unsurprisingly, the UK trash media thought once again that it would be clever of them to drag Meghan into this pantomime by suggesting that her product promotion from American Riviera Orchard was deliberately timed to coincide with Kate's reappearance. This article is from the News International, whatever it's called, published 21st of June 2024. The headline reads, Meghan Markle fails in her quest to outshine Kate Middleton. Kate Middleton recently made landmark public appearance since cancer diagnosis. Okay, again, I'm not going to read the whole thing. Meghan Markle has been slammed for trying to steal spotlight from Kate Middleton's landmark appearance at this year's Trooping the Colour with her stunt. The Princess of Wales made headlines across the globe for her first appearance in nearly 6 months since break from royal duties in the wake of her series of health scares last week at King Charles's official birthday parade. Writing for the Daily Mail, royal commentator Maureen Callahan reprimanded the Duchess for sending over new products from her brand American Riviera Orchard to her influencer friends, who posted about it on the same day as the royal event. Sorry, before I go on, I remember when Meghan launched her jam, and then the royal family, the royal collection, decided to do a video about their jam on their Instagram account. But the same standard doesn't apply. Different rules, you see. And this is why I can't take these people seriously. I'll continue. It is pertinent to note that the future Queen of England confirmed her attendance a day prior to the event via a lengthy statement on Instagram. And it goes on with regard to what she says. And then it says, Maureen went on to heap praise on Kate for her daring move, which exposed her fears and vulnerabilities and made her feel more connected to the human side of the royals. It strikes me that if they wanted to give their full support, they would finally set aside their grievances, drop the pernicious Victimhood Act, and apologise for insinuating to Oprah that the royals were racist, suggested the author. But hold on, 3 days before, there was an article in the same publication saying that Meghan wanted to put an end to the feud and reached out. So which one is it? Did they give their full support or did they not give their full support? Which one? So the last paragraph is, concluding her piece, she reflected on the consistent comparisons between the royal women, noting, and Meghan wonders why, with each successive attempt to rival Kate, she only ever fails. First of all, Meghan doesn't wonder why. Meghan couldn't care less. Meghan is not trying to rival Kate. She doesn't need to. It would seem that the Kate supporters are always trying to rival Meghan, which is why they cannot keep her name out of their mouth. These women that take the place of men that want to pit women against each other, I can't bear them. I can't stand them. I can't bear it. Isn't it interesting that every time Meghan does something, the narrative is always that she times it to overshadow Kate or any other royal family member residing 5,459 miles away? This article is from the express.co.uk, published on the 17th of June 2024. The headline reads, Meghan Markle's pal slaps down claims she attempted to overshadow Princess Kate. Meghan Markle has come under fire from critics over a decision involving the timing of her jam promotion, which fell on the same day as Trooping the Colour 2024. The coincidental timing of Meghan Markle's new line of jam being showcased on the same day Kate, Princess of Wales, made a one-off appearance at Trooping the Colour 2024 has been defended. Following the initial release of her jam, it was revealed Meghan has new products, including a new batch of raspberry jam alongside some luxury dog biscuits. Just hours before Trooping the Colour event in London, it was revealed that American Riviera Orchard would be expanding its product list, as Harry and Meghan's friend Nacho Figueras took to Instagram to share new pictures. The post pictures included the new jam and dog biscuits, which were both presented in glass containers. Although critics have questioned the timing in which Meghan's products were displayed on social media, a source has told the Daily Beast this was not Meghan's order or decision. The source claimed, while I'm sure the gift packages came with notes requesting social media coverage, you can't tell Nacho Figueras what to do. So I think it's certain the timing of his post was his own idea. The source continued, the larger point here is that the American Riviera Orchard campaign has been phenomenally successful and cost Meghan nothing. I mean, jam. Why are people so mad about Meghan's jam and what she's doing? Jam that people sell all over the world. Jam that millions and millions of people eat every day. I know this is not exactly the same, but I've got a friend who I went to school with, and she told me recently, which I never knew until we met up again, that her dad actually made honey and sells it in the local park. I mean, Meghan just wants to just get on with selling things from her business. What's the problem? As I said before, the royal family does not have any problem promoting their jam or selling their jam. What is the issue? What's the issue? It's very sad. It's very, very sad. Here are some observations. When did Meghan begin a quest to outshine Kate? Did I miss that? The fact that the media feel the need to make such a statement indicates that Kate can indeed be outshone. How stupid of them. It is highly unlikely that Meghan cares what's going on here. Why would she? And why should she? If her promotion happened to take place a week before or a week after Trooping the Colour, the narrative would have been exactly the same. Meghan has never needed any member of the royal family to promote anything she's doing. It would appear, however, that the UK trash media have made it mandatory to keep Meghan's name in their mouth for at least 2 reasons. The first one is to make the Waleses look good. Remember this interview with Anna Pasternak?
So you can imagine my consternation on Sunday when I go and get the Sunday newspapers, and front cover of the Mail on Sunday is Kate's victory over Tatler, double page spread on me, absolutely,
Oh my God.
Yes. And I knew that Tatler hadn't leaked it. I knew that I hadn't leaked it. So I knew that the leak had come straight from Kensington Palace. And a year later, the journalist who was asked to write the piece verified that William had rung up the editor of the Mail on Sunday that Friday morning, and somebody from his office went to have lunch with them, and they planted that piece. The royal family manipulate the media. I'm talking about the print media, the British print media, in a way you simply would not believe. So, for example, in the mainstream press, it is verboten to write a piece in support of Meghan and Harry.
Wait. So when you say, they must say this narrative about Meghan and Harry, I mean, you mean this in the way that journalists all sort of move as a pack, right? It's not an actual dictum.
No, it is an absolute dictum, spoken and unspoken, that the newspapers do not want and will not print pieces that are wholly positive to Meghan and Harry, and you cannot write anything negative really about William or Kate.
But this is because they're monarchists at the core?
No, this is because of the deals that have been done between the palace and the editors of these papers.
Okay.
If you look at the Telegraph Act, you will see 4 or 5 pieces in absolute eulogizing praise of the Princess of Wales. And then the chances are on the same day, every piece about Meghan and Harry is negative. They literally take a baseball bat and bash this couple to pieces. And it is because of this that I have completely changed my view towards Meghan, but also towards Harry. So when Mexit happened, I thought, well, it was ill-conceived and they were acting in probably quite a petulant way, and couldn't they have made it work? And what I have seen from the books that I've written about the monarchy is that the reason the British monarchy has survived and prospered when other European monarchies has failed is they are utterly ruthless, and their absolute goal is you have to have the spotlight on the monarch and the heir. And anybody else who comes into the picture and takes too much of the oxygen or too much of the limelight, you see is pushed out. We saw it with Diana. We saw it with Fergie. We've seen it with Harry and Meghan. They were too threatening as a unit to Kate and William.
The second reason is to support this ever-growing industry in this digital age. This is an online post from someone called Jamboree de Peckham. Their handle is hasvulcan. And they say, if Meghan's name isn't there for the search engines and pay-per-click, then the article doesn't get traction and the publisher doesn't get paid. Hating Meghan and Harry is how these vultures make their money. Every time you click on a negative article, it reinforces their editorial policy. Make no mistake, house guests. In the 21st century, the royal family and the UK trash media cannot survive by promoting the one person who is supposed to be their shining star, because their shining star is not shining brightly enough. If the only way you can make one person look good is to make another person who is a member of the same family look bad, it's laughable that they even dare to call themselves royalty, because the concept of royalty should extend past surface level rituals, traditions, titles, and weird fancy dress costumes. Behaving like royalty. Treat others with kindness and fairness. As public figures, royals are required to interact with people from every socio-economic, educational, religious, ethnic, and racial group represented in their country and abroad. They must treat everyone they meet with the same level of respect. Appreciate and embrace the diversity of your community. Treat everyone you meet as though they too are royal. Royals make everyone feel important and valued. People have been told that they're lesser mortals than Kate. I'm sure William has the same view. He kind of looks down his nose at everyone. Take the time to talk to people, listen to their concerns, stories, and requests. Such is the height of insecurity displayed on this side of the pond that the UK media have to scour the other side of the pond to constantly find ways to attack one woman in order to prop up another. Furthermore, by continuing to pit these two royal wives against each other, the media is doing their bit to add more stress to Kate and therefore exacerbate whatever adverse health condition she's dealing with. But we have to remember, guys, that it is too much of a stretch to credit the media with any type of common sense. I have no objection to the press celebrating World Freedom Press Day every May, as long as they actually practice the principle of telling the truth. Otherwise, what is the point? Guys, the very idea that someone who is a fully fledged adult, a wife and a mother, has to almost ask permission before she does anything is totally ridiculous to me. We do not live in a dictatorship. We do not live under a totalitarian government. Meghan does not have to ask permission to live her life. And this is where the problem is for me, because as much as the royal family wants to portray this, give this impression that they're forward thinking and they've progressed in the way that they see people or see the world, they haven't, because this colonial attitude is still pervasive. It still persists. And when I say colonial attitude, it's this need to control. Centuries and centuries of this need to control. And thinking you're superior to everyone else. It cannot run in the 21st century. This is not how people want to live. We are free in this society, as free as we can be with the restrictions still placed on us. What I'm thankful for is that Archie and Lily will have a completely different worldview to George, Charlotte and Louis. Because, whichever way you look at it, for me, unfortunately, this will continue through to the next generation, this way of thinking that you're better than everyone else. Coming from a long line of people that literally have blood on their hands, because how their wealth was acquired was because of free labour, forced from people who look like me. It's kind of poetic justice that, and I've always said that the person who has upset the apple cart, as far as the royal family are concerned, is a descendant of slaves. You couldn't get more poetic than that, as far as I'm concerned. And the fact that Harry has an appreciation of his children's African heritage, it makes it sweeter. They've gone out on their own. They are totally capable of living a life outside of the royal family. They've proved that. They've established themselves. They are not new at this anymore. It's been over 4 years. What we should expect, unfortunately, is that whenever there's an event going on in the UK, royal-wise, be prepared for a story to come out about Harry or Meghan, or both, that they've done something to deliberately overshadow what the royals are doing here. The absolute truth is, guys, that last Saturday, Meghan did not overshadow Kate in any way, shape or form. You're not hearing people talk about the fact that it was Charles's official birthday and he was overshadowed by Kate. No one's talking about that because they want your focus to be directed at Meghan. They want your hatred and anger to be concentrated like a magnifying glass on paper on Meghan. That's what they want. It was Charles's birthday, official birthday. No mention of this birthday. You hardly saw Charles. It was all on Kate. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to anyone? The person that was doing the overshadowing is gaining sympathy because apparently she was being overshadowed. Doesn't make sense, guys. But this is what we come to expect. This is a pattern. This is how they operate. So don't be surprised when the next event happens and Meghan and Harry are just living their lives and whatever they do happens to be on the same date as these guys. No mention of the fact that last year, the 6th of May, Archie's birthday, which will always be his birthday, that can't change, Charles and his diarists could have shifted that coronation date to another day. But apparently there was no other date in the diary. You mean to tell me that they see this little boy, Archie Harrison, Mountbatten, Windsor, Prince Archie of Sussex, that Charles saw him as a threat? So he didn't want the focus to be on Archie on that day. Wanted it to be on him on that day. No one can convince me that that was not deliberate. You know, I find it ridiculous. But this is what we have to face. This is what we have to deal with. This is your royal family, people of the UK. But there's a cohort of people that do not acknowledge him as their king. He's very weak, very petty, very shallow. But that's it, guys. If your thoughts were provoked in any way, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet become a house guest, don't forget to hit subscribe and activate all of your notifications. I want to take this opportunity to thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and you shall catch me in the next video.